Hello, my dear ones. Always an extreme pleasure to take time and communicate with my friends and help those that are in need, I hope. And I hope you do well. You know, we just had a beautiful woman in here this morning, and I think it was yesterday morning, and she was just going on how she had breast cancer and metastasized to the back and all that, and in 4 months she got it gone. 4 months gone. You know, this is the type of individual that's spiritual, that took the reins on her own and said, I'm going to do this. She came in several times through that process, and she showed she has now three different pictures of it. So she came in several times, and I love people like her, because it shows you the tenacity that humans have, and that if you want to get well, you can get well. I mean, here's a lady, best hospitals around, and told her that she only had X amount of time to live because it had metastasized to her back and stuff, and that they couldn't help her now. And so, which was great, to be honest with you, that they admitted that. I have to say that as much as I'm down on those that are hurting others and narcissism and elitists and all this, I appreciate people who admit, you know, because I do the same. If I admit, if I don't know it, I don't know it. But if you can't help someone, please admit that. That's to the medical doctors out there. Don't take them down a road to Hellville just to get their money. That's not it's not proper, and it's very karmatic. Sorry, don't want to do that. Now, a little subject matter. A good friend of mine, Dr. Roseanne Calabrese. What a beautiful, beautiful. She hasn't got this into print yet. I got a little card from her, and so I'm more than be happy to write a little thing for her, because take a look at this. This is truly a case, again, from Hellville to Wellville. And Roseanne is just, she's a love like nobody's either. She's an angelic being that loves to help people. She's a doctor of acupuncture, and extremely brilliant. So, congrats, honey, you did well. She had a huge goiter, and that's not all. You know, by the time you have a huge goiter, you're chronic in a lot of areas. And she's pulled herself right out of that. Goiter's been gone a long time, and she marched right and did everything just right and got rid of that baby. And she's been helping others for years now, doing the same thing, getting all these damaged cells out of them and tumors and things like that. And I commend her. We need thousands and thousands of Roseanne Calabreses out there to help this wayward planet, shall we say? All right. Good job, Dr. Calabrese. I will write you something, because it is just, I am so proud of you, and all of you guys that are taking your train or your physical body into the Wellville station. So it's fun stuff. It's fun to feel good. It's fun to always be happy. It's fun not to care for so much things. It's too burdensome. You know, release the burden of caring so much. You can care detached. You know, detached love has been talked a great deal about in spiritual circles. A detached love is not a personal love. A detached love is a love for all things, because you know all things sprung out of the God, the one God that we all call to, whatever name we give it. You know, there's a famous individual, I won't mention any names, and she was saying that whatever name, Jesus, Buddha, Mohammed, whatever name you are calling, you're calling the one God. And as long as you see yourself separate, you will always be separate. Your life will be separate. You will never know God. You'll be full of fear and all the things that goes with the lack of awareness of who one's self truly is, and who created all this, and who all this really is. So, detached love is a love that comes out of you naturally. It's not something you make or promote. You don't have to do a thing, but just be. Because it's a natural phenomenon when you kick back from chasing thoughts, and now you're sitting in the present moment watching thoughts going by. you see so much more, and you have a far greater understanding of who the watcher is. Greetings, Dr. Morse. I would like to share the condition of my client who are currently working with. She is a 76-year-old woman that has been bedridden for 8 years. Woohoo! Wow. She is in extremely toxic state, I imagine, and was in and out of the hospital at least once a month. Now remember, to get to that state where you're pretty much sedentary like that, you do have to be what this individual says is toxic. You have to be extremely, what would be another word for toxic? Acidic. Absolutely. Extremely acidic. So you're extremely acidic in the first place that takes you there, and then you just lay there in a nursing home or wherever for 8 years. So you can imagine the amount of lymph toxicity that this poor body has accumulated in it. And that's why they have no hope of getting out of there, because no one knows the simple procedure of reversing this that put them in there. Easy to pull people out of nursing homes if, one, the medical doctor of the nursing home gives their permission. Two, the family members want them back. Oh yeah, you might not think that, but that's a real big issue. So she was having a bowel movement once a month. Who is this? This is Shawn. Good work. I mean, when you can work on people like this is the type of clients that'll build incredible healers out of each and every one of you. These kind of cases will prove to the world how you can take someone like this and pull them out of that nursing home, clean them up, rebuild them, get them out of there. Again, 76, she's a little young. 2 months ago, we started her on an alkaline diet and herbal form. Now, wait a minute, I'm going to go back here. She was having a bowel movement once a month, and her bowels had to be evacuated each month. She has paralysis in both legs and her right hand. Okay, possible stroke here. 2 months ago, we started her on an alkaline diet and herbal formulas, and the next day, she had a bowel movement. You know, there was a lady that came to me one time with an infant, and she said, my infant can't poop. I have to dig it out with a spoon. I said, oh, really? I said, she said, yes, the medical doctor said his bowels weren't completely, what was it, formed yet. He was so young that his GI tract wasn't formed yet. I'm going, what? So I said, listen, I got a little coconut milk back here. I just got back from the Keys, and I brought about 50 coconuts. I said, I got a little coconut milk back here. I want to show you something. I gave that little baby a little coconut milk, and within 30 minutes had a poop. I just, you know, this is the type of healing this world has to get to. Medical doctors, naturopaths, chiropractors, homeopaths, we all got to get on board with the truth. That has to be the silver cord that goes through all our societies, where what we do and take make us healthy, not suppress or augment our functions in our body. Good job, man. Good job. Okay? Over the week, all of her vital normalized, and for the next month, her health and spirit rapidly improved. Listen to this. Then, out of the blue, her daughter and grandson started undermining and I didn't read this. I don't read any of these ahead of time. Not one. Well, I mean, if I'm sitting here waiting for something, I might just glance down to, you know, and maybe look at it. But look at that. Yeah, that's my point. Then, out of the blue, her daughter and grandson started undermining the process by giving her processed foods. And, you know, there is so much greed. And all I got to say, and especially the young guys and gals, drop the greed. No need to be greedy. God will supply you with everything you want. Doesn't matter. You know, work for truth, honesty, and integrity, and your life will be richly rewarded. You play with greed and backbiting and bullying, you're going to have a hell of a road, because you're creating bumpy karma. And this is just what I've talked about. I've had so many of that. Even we're talking about the case of the coma, where this guy's wife or daughter's in a coma. It's like, try. Hell yeah. But they don't want you to. And when they don't want you to train, it's just new health, just nutrition and health. What scares you about that? What scares you about bringing God's herbs into the world of your loved one's body in a coma? See, so when someone says that to me, I know immediately they don't want them alive. Two, they either want their money or something's going on here, because that's, even if you really don't halfway love somebody, get them up, get them healthy, and leave them, whatever. But, it just, I see so much of this, and it's just, here we go. In 2 weeks, she was back in the hospital with stopped up bowels and breathing tubes down her throat. See? The proof. And Shawn is showing you the proof and truth. And this is what I've seen all my life. This is what a lot of you guys see all your life. It's the diets that are killing us. It's chemistry that's killing us. Wake up to that. It's our chemistry consumption. And then, if we're not looking at that, we walk right up to the pharmaceutical world and have them pump more toxins into us. 25 vaccines before you're 2 months old. I mean, this is real criminal stuff. This is real bad, evil, negative stuff. And some people have learned to accept this as factual stuff and good stuff. Here, I'll take my little baby in. Yeah, load them up with 25 vaccines of toxic chemicals from pharmaceutical companies that have killed all kinds of animals testing it. Oh, by the way, this vaccine was grown in monkey kidneys. Yeah, go ahead. I don't get that. In 2 weeks, she was back. Yeah, the doctor did not expect for her to make it. However, by the grace of the Creator, she made it. Yeah, lucky, because if that doesn't smack in this daughter and grandson's face. But again, you've got to challenge them, for why wouldn't they want their beloved mother and grandmother out of the friggin' place? That's all. These are horrible places. I mean, they're places where, some of them are very nice. We've got some up here with fountains, shopping malls. You can get your hair cut, but it's still a nursing home. Or assisted living facility. Dr. Morse, do you have any recommendations of how to deal with family members like this? Yeah. Also, what are your thoughts and recommendations on her condition? And insight and advice is appreciated. Thanks, Shawn. You know what? I just get up in their faces and say, why wouldn't you want your mother and grandmother home? Do you see the difference? And now you've got a good comparison. You can show them what she was doing before and what happened afterwards. But if you really want to get in their faces, you can challenge their motive. Challenge their motive. Or why wouldn't you want your mother and grandmother out of this hellhole? Imagine you sitting around in a bed for 8 years, no one, and of course, maybe you have an insight that you can be helped, but no one's helping you. Or you're just sitting around, there's nothing to do. Your life is nothing but sitting around. You imagine that? So, not good. And we can make a huge difference in nursing homes. Of course, they're not going to like us real well, because that's how they make a good money. And so, and a lot of nurses have jobs that way, and CNAs, and on and on and on and on and on. But where do you draw the line in knowing and then holding back from what you can do with that? See, that's not good, because you'll burn doing that. It's not good to hold things to yourself that could help others. That's not too good. You've got to somehow let that out a little bit. However, but Shawn, I don't know what to tell you. Obviously, upper circuit, brain, and nerve on this one. Upper circuit, brain, and nerve, real important. You got another one?
Huh?
You got another one?
I have a supplement.
Oh, okay, to the same one. I'm reading the one right now.
Let me see.
Shawn?
Yeah, okay.
I'm reading his now.
Where's the other one?
You didn't give me another one.
The one that Jen gave you?
Oh, yeah, I already did hers. Really? That's her? Interesting. Thanks for that. Oh, so interesting. Anyway, upper circuit, brain, and nerve for that one. But you're going after her because she's 76 years old. What do you think is one of her big problems? Kidneys and adrenals. Big time. And that's a failure that gets them. All right? All these type of diets go shut down the kidneys and bowels. We've talked a lot about that. Someday I'll give you some pictures and stuff to show you some about the bowels and stuff. But So here's a lady that you can restore kidney function, get the lymphatic system moving, get upper circumbrain nerve, re-get her ability to walk up, get her arm moving again. You want 100% fruits, berries, and melons, no veggies whatsoever. I'm telling you. She's in a nursing home neurologically, and in the brain, you really want to go after that. So upper circumbrain nerve wouldn't hurt to do a dropper and a half, 3 to 4 times a day on that one. If you can get it in there, get compliance, I don't know. Maybe a nursing home will give it to them. I don't know. However you do this one. And if you have to talk to the dietitian or her family, whichever one loves her and wants to keep her there, or get her out of there, fix her juices for her. Because you're talking, if she improved that quick, she might have a good constitution. If she has a good constitution, you might be able to get her out of there in 4 months or quicker. You might be able to, even in a wheelchair. Probably going to take, it depends, the level of chronicness of the adrenals and myelin sheaths and all that, any brain lesions, anything like this, to the regeneration of walking. But that's where you're going. You want her up and walking again. You want that arm moving, everything connected and good, filtering of the urine, and you'll have this lady in a new life back, and she'll go right on up past 100. But that family has to, and as you see, this is the experience I've had. Once they're able to get their family members in the nursing home and any money involved, she can stay there, or he. And that's, I remember that one case I told you I had the mother and the wife and the son came to me, and this was about a gentleman in a nursing home. Been in there a little over 2 years. Bedridden, couldn't talk anymore, just laid there. And I can't remember if he had a feeding tube or not. The years are piling on here. But anyway, this was in July or August, somewhere in that when we got him. I had him home playing with his grandkids at Christmas. Yeah. So, that's what this is about. And that's all this is about, is the regeneration and and also the awakening of the individual and the regeneration of their bodies so they can have some fun in the universe. But anyway, that's what I would do, and if you can get the family in on it. If you can't, let them view this video. I don't know what else to tell you, and because the fact is that a lot of children don't want their family members back. There's, again, either money involved, or they were a little hard on them, or who knows. Some people today get quirky attitudes when they're raised too strict or whatever, I don't know. But let me know. Good luck on that one. But I love to get people out of nursing homes. There is so many people we can help in nursing homes. It's not even funny. I'm telling you guys, there's people in there you can pull out right and left. Message. Hello, Dr. Morse. Hello, my friend. Who is this? This is Codi. Female. Codi. Hi, Codi. I absolutely love your videos and how you answer our questions that we have. Thanks, Codi. Appreciate that, honey. I am pretty sure I have a sluggish liver. I used to drink a lot, and I am a 5'3" female. Oh, so I think you're getting it, aren't you? Yeah, because you know where we're going. We're going to go up to the top of your head in there somewhere, and we're going to look for a little bitty fella called the pituitary gland. Yeah, and we want to hit that one too because of the possible effect on ovaries and monthly cycles. Effect on parathyroid glands and thyroids. I don't know about growth when a person gets older, We've done a lot of growth in the young. We get a lot of calls, particularly in the Amish community, but because we're well known in those communities, but in other places where the young ones are not growing, we've really helped a ton of youngsters catch back up and get their height and size perfect and stuff. But you see that a lot out there now. The underdevelopment, of course, the pituitary controls all the other glands. So I'm real serious. And nowadays, you're hearing a lot more pituitary tumors than ever before. Back in the day, once in a while, you got a pituitary tumor in your office. But man, it seems like pituitary tumors or masses are all over the place. But so is throat tumors and stuff. Back in the day, you rarely had tumors up here. I've watched through the years, it's just as you watch, the lymph system's becoming heavily involved further and further and further up. Head pressures now like nobody's business. Throat tumors. It's a mess from here up. And this is the last and the worst place you want to have anything is upstairs, because it sits right down on your GI tract, and this whole thing has to be cleaned up a little bit. Remember, we've had a lot of discussions about the condition of man's GI tract, and it's not at all good. Liver, of course, raw foods is very cleansing to the liver. Of course, it's very cleansing to all tissues in the human body. And of course, being alkaline dominant, it brings hydration and a proper pH balance to the fluids of the body, since there's only two. But with that, you might want to look at that too. I checked my urine and it was clear after waking up, so I too need to fix the kidneys. Yeah. And that might be why your liver's sluggish, because remember, it takes the kidneys down first. Because think about this. Here I'm a cell, right? I'm a healthy cell, fairly healthy. I might be a little genetic weak or something maybe. But as long as because I'm just sitting here and around me, all around me is fluids. I'm sitting in a river of fluids. I've got buddies. There's buddy cells all around me, but we're all sitting in a river of fluids. They're called interstitial fluids. And these fluids are blood and lymph, right? 20% of that fluid is blood. You mean that 80% of the fluid that I'm sitting in as a cell is sewer fluids? It's the fluids to protect me? It's the fluids to help carry my waste away for me? Thank you. So that's what that is. Imagine when things become sluggish. Of course, when blood becomes sluggish, that's a beast of another color. Death is very quick in these type of cases. But 9 out of 9, and really the only reason the blood gets sluggish is the lymph system. It's always back to that friggin' lymph system again. And it will. When you get this, and you start, look. That's why it's such a big system. It's a huge system. And it's funny, it's the largest fluid-based system in the body, and the medical doctors know scat about it. You don't have to read about it to understand it and what its job is. You don't have to know there's a vascular tube right there or not to know that this is how it works. You don't have to have that spelled out to you and you study it and pass a test and now you know it. You don't have to do that to know it. Common sense, which is called awareness in spirituality. You get out of the mind, which is conditioned thinking. Get out of the conditioned academics that one has been conditioned in and start looking at truth. It's right there in our faces. But some people can take truth and warp it. I like the liver herbs too. The liver formula is a good formula. It helps the skin too. So using a liver gallbladder formula, I would use the liver gallbladder formula for a couple months. That'll help your skin, that'll help your liver, that'll help your gallbladder, that'll help your ducts, it'll help your pancreas. Good formula. Give you a lot of iron. It's a good formula. These are good. The barbarous family, the Oregon greats, the burdox, yellow dox. Good group. The kidneys are clear. Yep, you got to get them filtering because, again, the lymph system. And remember, though, you've got a pituitary that's down a little bit, and that needs to come up. How much the pituitary controls kidney or kidney filtration? Not sure. These are questions that none of us know. But in the future, with all you brilliant minds out there, and I mean that from an awareness position, you guys will put this together good. Yep. Now, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have fun. Let me see here. Is there one that is more important to start with over the other, or should I dive right into cleaning both? Dive right into cleaning both. You really don't want to wait and go, well, let me work on my kidneys for a while, and then I'll work on my liver for a while. No. And that, I feel, is why a lot of people have marginal successes. You want to go full bore right in. That's how I believe in doing it. I believe in rolling up your shirt or blouse and going at it. taking off into it. And you really want to get those kidneys filtering because, number one, if your kidneys don't filter, you're in trouble, period, everywhere. So if you had to say there's a number one importance, it's going to be kidney and adrenals. If you ever said there's a number one importance to any of this, it's kidney and adrenals and a filtration of the kidneys. So kidney and adrenals and lymph, that's how that should be one little pile. Where I want to go next is a real stretch because I either have the endocrine glands, which controls everything, including my moods and awareness, or I want to go after my GI tract. Both are vital. So, if it's money, I guess the endocrine glands, but one formula for the gut, even a bag of GI Broom lasts you a while. So, these are some of the thoughts. Everything else can go in there. Now, the liver actually would be on down from there because by cleaning the kidneys and adrenals, getting them filtering, getting the lymph system moving, cleaning up the bowels, the liver and all this will come clean on its own. But on the enhancement side, on the enhancement of the function of cells, the liver gallbladder formula can't be beat because that increases the function of. What you're doing is cleaning the acidosis out of these tissues, which is inflammation. So anything that deals with elevated liver enzymes, higher viral counts, things like that, that's all detoxable stuff. But when you want to change genetic memories, that is when you want to use the botanicals because they come right out of the Godhead to do that. They are in tune. In tune. Now, I know I have lots of lymph congestion and suffer severe cystic acne. Okay. So, which is the most important? Kidney, adrenals, and lymph. Over anything and everything. Because that'll shut down your glands, it'll shut down, it might be why your pituitary's down is because in your mother, your lymph system got backed up in the head. Let's hope not. But also, remember when we go to pituitaries, for those who have been to Iridology classes, you see how we show you right where the pituitary is, and each and every time to have a pituitary weakness, you have to have a transverse colon weakness right in the mid of the transverse bowel. Right in the mid is right where, just a slight to the right and left, is your spots for the pituitary gland. In the mid of the transverse. And it'll be there every time. So, when we talk about the body, we want to look at the kidneys, adrenals, the lymphatic system, but we also want to look at the other glands and we want to look at the GI tract. That's minimal. That's a minimal bubble. Now you're going to get some things done. Of course, then you want to think about getting rid of any worms, flukes, or anything like that. I mean, see what our thinking is? So think about jumping in and doing at least the first couple kits, deworm yourself and everything else, and then pull down if you have to. A good thing. You'll see. It just makes a huge difference when you do it that way. Any advice would be appreciated? Absolutely. And you want to get the cystic acne out of you. You want to get all these acids out of you. You don't want to be a woman with Dr. Hilde Clark's protocols. No. You want to do our protocols. Dr. Hilde Clark, no. I knew her. She's from the same town I was. No. I was wondering if we knew anything about her and if what she thinks is legit. Thanks. Oh, no, I knew her. And like I said, she's from the same town. Matter of fact, our county prosecutor wanted to prosecute her for, saying a cure for all diseases and a cure for all AIDS. You have to be careful about using the cure word synonymous with diseases. Because remember, the medical doctors created this whole concept of diseases. And of course, nothing can cure them. They're not supposed to. So when you're over here saying you can cure diseases, you're going to have pressure coming down on you. You're going to have states coming down on you because somebody's going to turn you in and they're coming after you. Even if you're a mother at home talking, you can get in trouble. Because they don't like anybody treating their diseases. And that's why I'm telling you, if you want to be happy and have a great life and understand truth, understand that that's an illusionary concept built about biochemistry theories that don't even hold water. They can't even cure high blood pressure. My 2-year-old can cure high blood pressure. Not a disease either, so I can use the word cure. But you have to be careful. When you're living in the world of diseases, you're living in the world of allopathy. We don't live in the world of allopathy. I don't even look in the world of diseases because I'm into science. I'm not into pseudoscience. I'm into real science. Cause and effect. That's not pseudoscience. That's real science. Chemistry, acid and base, ionization, and how all that works. That's not pseudoscience. That's real science. You know, some people like to say I'm into pseudoscience. It's like, what? So that's how far lost some humans are. That they're living on the road of theories, thinking that everything else, I mean, it's like, what? But Codi, I mean, I really appreciate this questions here. You need to dig in, sweetheart, and get this out of you, because the longer you keep all these acids in you, the more they chew on you. And it's chewing in your brain, chewing in your heart, chewing in your lungs, chewing in your everywhere. So definitely want to get that out of there. Oh, there's more. Oh, the same one. Hello, I have been watching your video. Let me see here. Oh, I see. I had an iridology reading by someone on RD International Community, and he says that I have nice bright eyes. All the white showing systemic acidosis and lymphatic congestion causing my lymph nodes to get clogged. Ooh. He said I have heavy lymphatic congestion around my throat and thyroid. Well, you know, it only makes sense. And what you're telling me here and the cystic acne, that only makes sense to me. That only makes sense to me. Which might explain these strange twitching feeling. Absolutely. Because remember, when things get acidic, I don't want to, because if I use the word inflamed, it gives a wrong impression about what inflammation really is. You know, everybody's speaking about half-truths and stuff, and I'm trying to correct that a little bit. But when you're acidic like that, the tissues get so sensitive because it's breaking them down. It's sucking the calcium out of them, and so they get so spastic that, you get these little twitches in the eyelids, and little twitches on the lips, you know, everywhere, little twitches. That's a sign right there that you're accumulating acids in those respective tissues. And you want to get that lymph moving out of there. Because, you know, things just keep breaking down. Till you correct it. You can't just keep throwing pharmaceuticals in there hoping something will stick on the wall. All right, I am having at night in that exact area. Yeah, yep. He says that it goes up my neck and shoulders. He is right. Yep, he's right. You know, a good iridologist, and I'm glad someone at RD is really this good. I love you guys at RD. This is our team. You guys are taking care of people well, I hear, and that's just what we need. A good iridologist out there is important, because we have a world of iridologists that don't quite understand the lymphatic system because they're not supposed to. It's not taught anywhere. And I'm glad you guys picked up on the lymph system and how to read it. That's one thing German iridology has no clue. None of the iridologists, even Jensen, didn't have that much of a clue in the lymphatic showings of the eyes. I can talk about him. He's a good friend. Personal friend still is. Not like he's gone. Might be not in the physical world. I have a swollen lymph node under my ear on the right side. Now, Codi, all I can tell you is when you guys get humps and dumps on the throat or above, take this extremely serious. Get yourself on fruits, berries, and melons. Rake up some money, or we'll help you however. You got to, you know. But get on these kidneys and adrenals and lymph and get all this out of there. Because the longer this stays, it'll get hard. And then when you come to us and it's this big, then we got problems. You know, we're trying our damnedest to get in there and get you opened up before this thing takes your neck. So that's the problem. He says, my thyroid controls my body temperature, and that greatly influences my skin to breathe. Absolutely, he's right on. This is the truth as well, because I feel that my skin doesn't. Oh no, these guys at RD, these are our people. They're good. I feel like my skin doesn't sweat on my face hardly at all, and I live in Kansas where it's very hot and humid. Yeah, you want to sweat on your head. You want to have wringing, wet hair and everything. And it just shows the nature of your clogging up here, but that's what that little swelling is. So it's just definitely confirming what the problem is for you. Liver, gallbladder are showing congestion, and that's, of course, that's a lymph system. Like I said before, when your lymph system's backed up this far, it's backed up with everything down below for sure. So, yep. Lungs and the GI tract as well. Oh, yeah. He says, my stomach looks over acid and I do suffer from acid reflux bad. Pretty good, wasn't it? I love iridology. Iridology by a good iridologist like this individual will give you a great overview of what your physical body has been suffering with, why it suffers, and how, and gives you an insight to how much work you have to do. It fits like a perfect hand in a perfect glove. So you always want to learn iridology. It's just fun stuff, and we can apply it to ourselves and have fun with that. What do you recommend I start with to regenerate these things? The master cleanse, or do I do all these things one by one? Well, the first thing I would do, if you're on 100% raw right now, if you're not, get there, 100% raw. All right, get there in a week. So 100% raw. Now, you want to let off the salads, replace them with green drinks, or if you have the ability to let the veggie kingdom go and move right into fruits, berries, and melons, I highly recommend it. If not, spend a week on salads and your fruits, berries, and melons, and then maybe go to a green drink instead of a salad, and then jump off the green drinks. And stay on the fruits, berries, and melons. And put yourself on it. That's a fast. I don't say it's a fast, but it is like a fast for some people. But that's the level you need to be at. If you want to do a master cleanse, you got my full love and attention on that one. Absolutely. Anything like that, a 10, 20, 30, 40-day grape fast would be perfect. Dead serious. Because I'm notorious for putting people on 40-day grape fasts. Big time. And mix a little lemon in there too if you want. So this is how you get the humps and dumps out of you. That's the diet requirement to get them out of you. Look at the Hippocrates. Very, very bad on humps and dumps, or humps and bumps. Very bad. We get a steady line of street because they don't focus on the lymphatic system. They don't understand it yet. And they're all into the veggies. They don't understand the fruit sugar is not like sucrose. It is simple sugars. You know, water's wet, fruit is sweet. Hello. I'm sorry, I am new to all of this. Don't be sorry. I'm so glad you're asking, honey. I'm thrilled, Codi, that you're excited, because this is how you get this out of there, and you want to get this out of you now. I'm telling you, you don't want to sit there and wait till these tumors become like this one. Sorry to keep showing you this, but these are what happens with these lumps, and this is what this lady told us. Medical doctor said, let's just watch it. Cause and effect. If you don't tell the patient or client what they're doing that's causing their problem, they can't remedy it or fix it. And what are you going to do? Treat it then. Make money treating it. That takes you out of the picture, makes you a cold entity, and you don't have to worry about any emotional bonding. But when you come to us, we're going to go in there and look at you and pull your eyes like Codi did here, have the ARDI people look at her and say, hey, this is what you got to do. Clean it up and you're all new again. For me, Codi, it's jumping in. As much as you can, you want to jump in full force. I have a 14-week protocol. I jump in on it. If you can afford it, jump in on it. If you're going through financial troubles and stuff, write in. You got to fill out some forms and stuff, and they check you out. And if you're where you are, we'll help you. I mean, we got some. Yeah. So that's what I would do. I wouldn't dilly-dally too long. Because when you start having tumors forming on your neck, you do not want to dilly-dally. You want to get this out of there. And we're here to tell you what that lump is, and what system it's involved in, and how that system works, and how you get it out of there. No other place does that. We want all places to start doing that. We want medical doctors to learn about the body more. We want medical doctors to learn about the lymphatic system. We want medical doctors to learn that they've been standing on the wrong side of chemistry. Jump on the other side, please. That'll change your whole way of thinking, and you'll start saving people right and left. And that's a thrill. That is a total thrill. When this lady came in and said, oh, you saved me from breast and metastasized cancer, that was a thrill for me. I was just deeply, deeply, deeply honored. So, but just because you're new, don't be sorry. Keep learning. I appreciate you, Codi. I appreciate all of you guys coming in new and learning and asking questions. That's what this is for. I open this up for questions. Not that I can always get to all your questions, but surely try. This appears to be confused. Well, I am. Could you please point me into the right direction? Well, don't be confused, because basically what we're doing is we set your body into a regenerative detoxification mode. In other words, we start changing the nature of the chemistry you're eating. Now, there's only two sides of chemistry, so you understand that most people eat on the acidic side of chemistry, and we're going to make you start eating on the alkaline or base side of chemistry. This starts hydration. This starts removing agglomulation, removing this cationic environment for an anionic environment, which is an environment of hydration and fluidity, as opposed to agglomulation and the dehydration and the other side that acids create. So we're energizing and turning on and hydrating your human body. At the same time, we're getting that lymph system to start to filter through your kidneys. Your sewer system, which is what this is the sewer system. We're starting to get your kidneys to filter this and your skin to sweat it. When that happens, then all these lumps and humps start falling, going down, 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 and then they're gone. We clean up the bowels. We get your glands working, because that's everything. And to the human body, and actually to your moods and things. Look at the parathyroid. When it's down, depression comes in. You're not happy with yourself. You're depressed to the point where, like Andrea Yates, you kill your babies thinking God told you to do that. So, all these things are important. And one should work on their body, because this is your tool to express yourself while you're on this planet. You don't take your physical body with you when you leave this planet. You merely remove your attention from it and pull it back to your astral body, or if you've developed the ability to pull back even farther, you'll go on up where you developed yourself. Most souls that leave this first go back to their astral body. That's their next body. They don't have a physical body anymore, so their attention's pulled back. You feel like you're going through a tunnel, but actually you're drawing back to your next body. That's all it is. And then some, in my experience, make a return trip. I am looking to order the stuff needed off of your website, and I am desperate. I am 29 years old, and I knew you were young. And this is very important, Codi, because you're only 29. I don't know if you've had kids yet, but fix this before you have kids. If you've had kids, take a look at their growth factors, because two things are really, really important for your moms to look at your kids. One, pituitary, height, growth, normal size. Two, growing pains. Parathyroid gland, not proper growth, and calcium related problems. Very important to correct those two things in an infant, for everything that might imply. I mean, everything that implies. I feel I am 100 sometimes. Yeah, well, age is acidosis. You can be 100 and look 50 and feel 50. You can be 29 like you are and feel 100. Absolutely. It's all about acidosis. Acidosis makes you stiff, sore, if your lower spine's out, all those sort of things. I suffer from major fatigue. Of course, again, major fatigue is going to be your adrenal glands, but at 29, you're going to probably have chronic adrenal glands. And if you have great genes, you're going to have chronic adrenal glands. Well, then that can set you up for cystic acne. How? Shuts down your kidneys. Your adrenals sit right on top of them. So when they're down, guess who else goes down with them? Kidneys, in many ways. Sodium, potassium, neurotransmitters, dopamines, acetylcholines, that sort of thing. That has been chronic. See, this is very, very important, Codi. Remember, though, our videos on acne and skin problems. Review that, because when you start detoxing, your skin can look worse, and insane itching can come. I don't know how to correct the insane itching. There's a lot of back itch lotions. There's a lot of herbs you can take baths with, that sort of thing. But you've got to fix this. You're 29 years old and you have chronic lymphatic problems and starting to form tumors. No, No. Back that around, honey. Back that around. 8 to 10 years of dealing with that, I can see why you're upset. My kidneys and adrenals are weak as well. Well, that's why you have the cystic acne. You know, remember how I say the medical doctors look at things from the ass end of the donkey first? Well, that's the thing. From a medical position, let's say that your cystic acne caused kidney problems. It's actually the reverse. It's kidney problems that causes cystic acne. How? Lymphatic suppression. That's all lymphatic stuff. You don't filter the lymph system, and this should be in their face with that, because as soon as we get your kidneys to filter and your skin sweating, no more cystic acne once you clean your lymph system out. I mean, it's the same with tumors and everything else, and we've demonstrated this for 40-some years, I have. So, and you guys are kicking butt. I don't know how many of you are showing others how to do it, but you're doing so well. I'm getting these stories in here, and it's like, whoa, our team is winning. Please help a girl that started on this amazing journey. Thank you, sir. Codi Smith. Codi Smith, I'm here to help you, honey. I ain't going nowhere quite yet. But we've got the RD people, like you said. We have rawfig.com. Just our group of people that knows what they're talking about. They get it, and they can help you. That's what we want. And congrats to the Irish reader there at RD International, because good reading. That's all about that, you know, is being able to tell someone about their body and be truthful about it. You know, the worst thing you want to be is a horrible iridologist. You know, I know many of them. I know an older guy up in Amish land that tells people they don't have cancer, do have cancer through the eye. No way. You don't ever walk down that road. Besides, you can never do that. Only a pathologist can determine whether a cell is mutated or damaged enough to label it either atypical, or the next stage is degenerative, or what they want to call cancer, which is just a degenerative cell. You know, you got to wake up to realize that all this cancerous thing is your lymph system in stagnation, means extreme acidosis blowing back on you. So it's inflammation until it's intracellular, and when you become acidic inside the cell, then all your organelles, all your little organs and glands of the cell itself, including the mitochondria, DNA, and chromosomes, are altered and mutated. So you start mutating your cells. You can stop that and turn that around by fixing your lymph system. So, you know, we get all wrapped up in something that is a lot simpler than what people think it is, so devastating and worth millions and millions of lives to try to treat it and cure it. Oh, on Kelly this morning, there was a medical doctor talking about, you know, this whole thing about training your immune system again and enhancing macrophages and T's and B's. And I met a guy this morning at Cracker Barrel that's done that and claimed a lot of cures. But I'll tell you this. You've got to fix the lymph system no matter what you're involved in, and particularly the C word. You want to fix this system. And training your immune cells to go after cancer cells, they're designed to do that anyway, guys. When you see a cancer cell, you'll see what your body's up against. And it should be up on our website pretty soon, if it's not already, to show you the difference between a normal cell and a cancer cell. But your lymphocytes are designed, you have many cells designed to take these cells to your lymph nodes. We don't like phagocytosis. They're interstitially, in the tissues, as far as I know. You know, you don't find macrophages around your tissues. You find them in the tissues of the lymph nodes. But there's a job for them to do there. So, got to be careful about that sort of thing. But I could give you 10 times the T cells, 10 times the B cells by enhancing your bone marrow. How's that going to get rid of stagnation of a sewer system? It won't, and it don't. Contreras Clinic, you know, what people don't realize, Contreras Clinic down in Baja, Mexico, on that side across the border, he's been doing this for years. Marginal success, but that's where they got it. He's been doing it for years. The Amish people have been going down there for years. Matter of fact, I send people there once in a while for Laetrile, but only when there's tumors, like I said, growing to bones. But, you know, that's not how you really get rid of cancer. I had a guy go down there, and he had prostate cancer. I think I told you this is an Amish man. And his PSAs were 50-something, I think, when I met him. 2 months later under me, they're down to the 30s. But that wasn't quick enough for him. So he went down to the Contreras Clinic, and they got him down to 0. Now, if you claim that a cure of prostate cancer, okay, you can claim that if you want. But I told him, he came back after that. He said, look, my PSAs are 0, and I did it in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever. And I said, oh, great, but I'll tell you this. Not from an ego viewpoint, from what really I've seen, is that they'll start climbing again. You haven't fixed anything. 2 months later, he gives me a call. He says, damn, you're right. He says, my PSAs climb like crazy. Shot right back up into the 30s again. So that's a problem. That's why there's nothing like fixing what you've created by reversing how you created this. You have to fix the problem. You always want to ask yourself, what's causing the problem and how do I fix this? Always. Not how I treat the symptom, how I get rid of the cause. Getting rid of the cause gets rid of the symptom. A good example. I look at a tumor on a neck. I'm saying, okay, what's a tumor? A tumor is a pocket of fluid, all right? What type of fluid would be in a tumor? Interstitial, right? So that's 80% lymph, 20% blood, most tumors, right? So this is an interstitial thing, right? So, what system am I in? 80% lymph, 20% blood. So the stagnation is not in the blood part, though. That's the problem. The stagnation is in the lymph part. The blood is still flowing. So you have 2 reasons why a tumor can get larger. Blood flow and the accumulation of more waste. Because all a tumor is collecting waste from the cells. Well, we're going to have to store this. It's not going anywhere. I have to store it. I have to store it, or I'm going to get eaten up alive. That's what acids do. So that's why it's so important to focus right in on the system, focus on the kidneys, on the lymphatic system, on the adrenal glands, and fix the system that's down. Because working on immunotherapy and things like this, you are half-assing it, and at best you're just waiting till another tumor pops up. And that's not even a fix. So, at least it's better than chemo, but not much. No offense. But I've worked years with this. And they've been doing immunotherapy around the world, and particularly in Mexico, for years. At least 30. We're just slow at introducing it here in the States. Like I said, a lot of people have been leaving. That's probably why what's-his-name took off and went down there. Died of pancreatic cancer. Message, hello doc, thanks for the time. In some of your protocols you recommend adding a pinch of sodium bicarbonate to the herbs to help alkalize the body. Would this not be counterproductive to the pancreas and its ability to produce its own sodium bicarbonate? Yes. Sort of like when using steroids and the adrenals stop producing their own. Trevor. Yes, Trevor? Absolutely. This is why I cringe to mention it. And this is why the word pinch is there. Well, people are going to find that fast track alkalizer. It's what it's called. Fast track alkalizer. It's a system. I forget what biochemist brought that up. But you're right on point. And I teach this all the time. Problem. When you have a stage 4 or even a 3, a highly advanced stage of what the medical doctors have diagnosed as cancer, we know as extreme chronic lymphatic stagnation causing extreme acidosis. You're trying to help that person live, Trevor. That's the only reason. The only reason is trying to help these people live. The more acidic they go, the quicker to death they go. By giving these people chemo, you're actually putting their foot on the accelerator to death. And medical doctors do this every day to millions of people around the world, is they're accelerating their death. Factual, and you can't deny it. Those advanced cases, my friend, is somewhat difficult sometimes. And a lot of you guys know that. You call me, we talk over the phone about your cases. So when we do this, it's just short term and it's just a pinch, just a help. And I cringe doing that, but keep in mind we're off of protein, so we're not invoking hydrochloric acid. So I don't need to have too much of that in the duodenal area, because hopefully most digestion is base. You're holding the base chemistry of the mouth. You know, all food does not have to go through stomach acid digestion. So that's a protein issue. So most of your alkaline digestion is mouth, the small part of the duodenum, first part. So absolutely, you're right on, Trevor. And I want everybody to know that this is what we teach. But in these advanced cases, we're grabbing to help these people. You know, people call us at the last moment, and we are inundated with that. And that's what makes us even sadder, is that when we get cases like this one breast I'm showing you, and it's like, how are we going to save something like that? I mean, it's just, you know, we're just, I don't want to say we're just people too, because we're souls using human bodies like you guys are. But we're just like, you know, sickening, disgusting. And after you have this year in and year out, as many years as I've had, it does tend to change your viewpoint on the medical community and things like that. After a while, you've had enough. Enough's enough. There's a point where enough's enough. How long are you going to keep killing people? How long are you going to keep throwing the wool over people's eyes? How long are you going to keep lying to people? How long are you going to keep doing this? Well, that's why we need change. And we all need it. You know, this group, all of you guys are helping us to form this, to help us to get this into the right grooves, because this is a great, viable science. And I'm trying to write this textbook on regenerative detoxification, because this is a science of how you reverse acidosis and how you reverse those things you create when you burn dirty fuel. It's a natural phenomenon of nature. You know, when someone jumps on detox as being bad, then you're jumping on the guy that or not the guy, but the individual that created all this. You know, growing up in the Christian movement, it's easy for me to say he once in a while, when there's no gender to that which is the all. It'd be better to say she. We'd have a more peaceful world. Would this not be counterproductive to the... Oh yeah, absolutely, Trevor, right on with you. Just keep that in mind, that sometimes when we're talking about advanced cases, we're going to grab what we can. I wanted to show this because I really appreciate it. I like to do it in the first of a video, not toward the end of a video, but this gentleman made this for me. Incredible. A nice letter with this. This is Greg. Thank you, Greg, for all of this. You were very nice in this letter. He's talking about weight loss here. The pyramid. This is cool stuff. The golden nan, the golden Ratu pyramid. It represents God's math. Pi, P-H-I, force free. I tell you what, you were talking about pyramids. You know, having pyramid greenhouses. Can you imagine pyramid greenhouses? My God, you could take a seeded watermelon that is out of this world, like a crimson sweet, grow it in a pyramid greenhouse. I can't imagine. It'd probably your head up like a boo. I mean, amazing, beautiful. Thank you. Love you, man. Love you, love you. I have some little thing coming to you here. Thank you so much for that. Got her herbal degree. She got her herbal degree. So she got her iridology classes. She's got her levels 1. Have you been to level 2, sweetheart? This is the sweetest thing you've ever seen. She is so sweet. And she just got her herbal degree. This is Rose Friedman. Rose, you're just a little cutie. When I first met Rose, I thought, wow, she's awful young to be in this. I think she's an RN and everything else. Smart, extremely smart. And I thought, she's awful young to be an RN. No. Very mature woman. Very smart. Congrats. What else did I want to bring up to you guys? Oh, someone had asked me, I've got a gentleman, I think a lot of you know him, John, in Shawn in Canada. And Jonathan, I think I've already talked to you about this one, the TENS unit. He was asking me about the TENS unit because some guy was getting reducing a tumor with a TENS unit or something. If someone, let me see, change it. Let me see here. I can't remember what I did with that, Jonathan, but I did talk to you about it. Think about this. If I took the prostate, someone with the prostatitis, and we put a massager on it, and we started massaging the prostate, right? That's like working your arm. So let's say you broke your arm, you kept your arm in a cast for months. You take the cast off, it's stiff, because you know blood is still flowing. That's essential, or death of the arm would take place. But the lymphatic system is a beast of another color. So what it does is set up atrophy, but it does set up acidosis. So when you start working that, you realize that your lymph system does require muscle movement to get moving properly. So then after a while, you're going, oh, this is good. A TENS unit can do the same thing. And initially, well, I remember what it was. This guy had PSAs of 500 and something. And they used a TENS unit on him, and it ended up, some Chinese guy brought it down to 300 and some. And Jonathan asked me about that. So think about that. So TENS unit is small, low-frequency vibrations. You know, chiropractors use different variances of that for different things. Loosen up the muscles so they can adjust better, things like that. So you can imagine that after a while it would reduce your PSAs. The thing is, if you stop doing that, guess what happens? Because you have very little muscles down there, back up goes the PSA. Maybe even a lot higher because you created activity cellularly, which creates more acids metabolically, and therefore now you have more acidosis to deal with. Just saying. Sometimes it's why you're in a sedentary position is you can't afford to move and not lose your knees and hips and everything else. It's important that you deal with this chemically and then start moving to move. So the chemistry that moves lymph without you muscularly moving lymph is going to be your fruits, your berries, and your melons, particularly your astringent rich ones. Green drinks can, if you get that chlorophyll so rich that it knocks your socks off. It can be extreme astringent draw. And that would be with growing alfalfa sprouts and letting them stay in your jar about 3 days longer in the sun, put a lid on it, and let those greens turn real green. Try it. Until I didn't warn you, try it. Resident, oh, I like this one. Residents of consciousness. I like that. An awakened one. Can you enlighten us on how to conquer fear? Well, if you're a resident of consciousness, ye shall have no fear, because in the eternal now, you are one with all things. You are part of the all. So you're part of the power, you're part of the awareness, you're part of everything that is the one. There is no fear in that. The fear is separation. And what breeds fear is thought, emotions, and desire. You know, desire, believe it or not, breeds fear. You desire. But though the object of your desire becomes the chain around your neck. And the fear comes in when they are augmenting your state of consciousness. Whether it's an individual augmenting it through their attitudes and stuff or whatever way. So fear based upon unconsciousness, truly. This is why this channel is totally about awareness. About awareness and awakening and learning about the body and the lymph system and all and everything else in society. Learn about the World Bank. Learn about what the agenda really is of these powerful governments and what they're doing to the people. Really awaken yourself to what's going on this planet. Get that D's, his artwork is incredible. Right on. You know, and you'll start to see what's really going on behind the scenes. There's so much going on this planet, and including intergalactically. People are just they've been living like ostriches. Even Ronald Reagan knew about the other side. I'll say the other side, that which is above us. Talked about it quite frequently. And that goes way back. But now that we have a completely transparent government, we're okay. Words of art. I love that. But as a resident of consciousness, pure consciousness, you shall have no fear, because there's no fear to have. You don't live in the world of duality. Duality, there's fear, and then there's unfear. There's yes, and there's no. There's good, and there's bad. That doesn't exist in pure consciousness. Pure consciousness doesn't have duality as a part of it. So, fear exists in duality, right? So, you have bodies in duality, but as long as you're conscious and you live and you're a resident of pure consciousness, there is no fear, because there's no emotion. See, emotions are only astral. Matter of fact, in the mind, there is no emotions in the mind either. Thought has no emotion to it. Emotion drives thought. That's your emotional body. That's your next body. When you leave your physical body, either out-of-body experience or a death experience or near-death experience, you're pulled back to your next body. That's your astral body. But you have other ones that keeps pulling you back till you finally get to you. Pure consciousness. That's that pure awareness that's coming out of your eyes and that's watching. The mind then registers what you're watching in terms of, has it seen it before? It starts to compare from its library of thoughts how to categorize what you're watching, whether you like it or not. That sort of thing. All this is within the emotional body and the mental body. Leave the emotional body and there is no emotions anymore in your world. There's just thought. Mind consciousness and then pure consciousness. It's interesting when you look at it, but it's easy to understand when you look at our God Worlds chart. It's easy to understand how that is when you realize, change your perspective in the way you look at things. And it's that simple. Don't look at it, God, from the physical body into this infinite being. You be the infinite being looking into creation. And you know how you do that? You pull back from thinking. You pull back from ideas and concepts. You pull back from how you see yourself. You pull back from all these things into pure awareness. And that exists in the pure moment outside of the world of time, matter, energy, and space. It's all in the present moment of the infinite. And there's very little words to define it other than awareness, consciousness, beingness, the now. Very few human words. It's a pure experience. You can't define it and experience it. And you can't define it unless you've experienced it. So it's kind of a little tear. So, somewhere in that middle. But yeah, that's how you conquer fear. You pull back because the individual living in the now has no fear because they're living in total truth and they know they're living in total power and total freedom. And nothing can hurt you in there. Here we have people that are bigger than you, smaller than you, have guns, don't have guns, have knives, don't have knives. Here you're in a warring universe, and not just here, all through creation is duality. Only in your higher levels have that lower stuff been worked out a little bit. But thanks for this. I love this. Absolutely. Resident of consciousness. Actually, we're all a resident of consciousness. We're only playing the soap opera game because that's what we chose to do. We chose to enjoy creation for a while. So that means you have to take on respective bodies. If you're going to go out in the cold, you better put on a coat. If you're going to go down in duality, you have to step yourself down. You can't just walk in duality as an infinite being. Doesn't work that way. Oh, a disciple of awakening. Oh, I like this one too. Same person. Can you please touch on Crohn's and inflammatory bowel disease? Also now, seeing Heidi and her progress, how do you feel about dry fasting? Oh, I like dry fasting. But not extended dry fasting. Even the depleted can go, 24 hours. Even the depleted. and sometimes necessary. And it all depends upon the case. You know, when you get highly depleted cases, you got to be real careful with that sort of stuff. I don't like to fast too much. I like to enhance at first. That's why I like the herbs and the fruits, because the fruits, electrically, you take someone with say tumors in them and stuff, they've been diagnosed with cancer and stuff, their magnetic resonance, their electrical impedance is probably going to be 6,000 down to 5,000. Someone that's emaciated and they just don't have any energy, you're going to be in the 5,000s or lower in your angstroms or in your energeticness. Fruits have 12,000 units of energy to them. And you're down here at 5 or 6, probably 5, and you're consuming 6. Remember the law of homeostasis, the law of balance. And that's what happens. When you start consuming foods at a higher level, it starts pulling you up. Cooked foods have 1,000 or less energy. So the same law pulls you down when you eat cooked foods, and the same law pulls you up when you eat raw foods. It's that simple, and every one of you recognize it. So if you're feeling down and no energy, we know it's neurotransmitters. We get all the physiological sides of that. But also the energetic sides of that is tied in with that. But you have to look at the types of food you're eating. And as you start looking at the energeticness of foods, it will pull you into your fruits, your berries, your melons, your veggies. Because that's the only foods with energy to them. Grains don't have very little electricity to them. Beans don't have very much electricity to them unless you sprout them, germinate them, make them live little beings. Absolutely. I've got a 3 o'clock appointment coming up and I'm going to have to stop, unfortunately, daggone it. But I love your questions. Crohn's and inflammatory, just remember inflammation is just another word for acidosis, because it's the inflammatory response is a response against proteins and acids 99.99% of the time. So when you see Crohn's, what's up? Interstitial lymphatic constipation. Interstitial, around the cells, lymphatic, 80% lymph system, constipation, stagnation, not going anywhere. So, come on in. I'm getting ready to close this up. So just remember that in Crohn's, just like any of them, whether it's ulcerative colitis, like you were introduced here, Crohn's, IBS, who cares what name you want to stick on it? It's just different levels of the same problem. Interstitial, lymphatic, constipation. Well, guys, I got to run. I do have an appointment. I love you guys. We appreciate you so much. You guys are kicking butt. And thanks for the pyramid. Love you all now.